I'm Viviana, and I'd like to share some experiences that I've had to gain some insight into what I ponder every year at this time. I have a close relationship to Rudolf Steiner and his founding of the Christmas Conference, or refounding of the Anthroposophical Society. And I've often held the question, what does it mean that it needs to continue on as an ongoing event? And Steiner talked about the fact that if it isn't ensouled in that way and brought forward continuous as a continuous event, then it will have been in naught. And so I like to personally, just at this time every year, rethink into the Christmas conference and Steiner's deeds during the Christmas conference, and look at the trajectory from in the Holy Nights. He started the first Anthroposophical Society, even though he wasn't a member of it during the Holy Nights. It happened on December 28th, 1912. So there's this initiative that he is bringing forward during the Holy Nights. And then again, in the refounding of the Christmas conference in 1923-24, it's happened right from January 24th to New Year's Day. And he describes this path of sort of a time out of time during the time from the evening of January 24th at 6:00 p.m. It begins, and then ends at 6 p.m. on January 6th. And this year, after the Death Cafe, I was reading to my husband Elia, who is on the other side, and his favorite book that he always read during Advent every year was World History in the Light of Anthroposophy. And that's so I took that up this year as a gift to him to read. And I got some insights that I hadn't seen before. And Steiner says when we're reading to the dead, if we do a good job of creating the pictures inwardly, we know that we're being met because we gain some insights that come from the other side that we may not have come to ourselves. And so this year, when I was reading to him, I really got some insight about the guardian of the threshold and this mystery of the 13th Holy Night on the 31st, on New Year's Eve, just before crossing the threshold into the new year. And if we go back a year before the Christmas conference, Rudolf Steiner was standing on New Year's Eve at the burning of the Goetheanum and watching the work that had been done over the previous years go up in flames, and was standing by himself. And Ida Wegman came up to him, brought him some coffee, and asked him, could the mysteries be refounded? And in the flames, he was watching, he describes in world history, he is watching the parallel between the burning of the Temple of Ephesus when Alexander the Great was born, to the burning of the Goetheanum. And so he's seeing this correlation. And then here comes Ida Wegman asking about the refounding of the mysteries. And that question, that day on the 31st, and Rudolf Steiner had said to Herbert Hahn that which we carry across the threshold on the 31st goes to the highest hierarchies, has the possibility of going to the highest hierarchies, that the folk spirit withdraws, and that our intentions, our questions, our vision for the upcoming year can be taken up by the hierarchies and we can be given support for its fruition. And I believe it's that question that Ida Wegman asked Rudolf Steiner that carried him across the threshold to the new year. And in that new year, the whole year was really finding a reorientation towards the society, towards the movement, and towards each other. And so it's out of that context that he saw this. There's the lower guardian of the threshold that I'm guessing that we meet every night, because if we don't, we could enter the spiritual world and come back not fit to serve humanity. So there's the lesser guardian and the greater guardian. And I can imagine that Rudolf Steiner met this greater guardian on the 31st, the year before the Christmas conference, because in it he saw from the last Michael age to this Michael age, and he saw the whole trajectory of humanity's history, and he came to a resolution in himself, and he wrestled with it for a while and really tried to find the right relationship. But the next year, the Christmas conference came into being. And so there's so many aspects of the Christmas conference that we could take up, but I just wanted to bring our attention to this guardian experience and to hold it, and to hold Rudolf Steiner and his deed and a question of what does it mean for me? What is my relationship to that? And how is it that it can become a deed that is ongoing? And of course, how much time do I have, Timothy? We need a timekeeper. We have, um,
You're doing pretty good, but you've got about 2 minutes, maybe
okay,
three.
okay, thank you. Yeah, so here, he gives us in the foundation stone meditation, which Christine's going to talk about, he brings our relationship of the human soul to the spiritual hierarchies. And if we're going to have a relationship with the dead and those across the threshold, he says it's very important that we develop this understanding of the spiritual hierarchies and the relationship to us and to those across the threshold, because that's a land in which they live. And so I know Christine's going to follow up and talk some about the foundation stone meditation, and Sally will offer some journaling possibilities to bring that forward, and Timothy will speak some about initiative and what that means for the Holy Nights and for us as individuals. So we can talk some more about the guardian and the experience, or whatever comes alive for you at the end of our little review here. But I just want to encourage everybody to form the pictures and offer them up as you're working at the threshold, the Holy Nights, and um, see what comes back and be mindful on the 31st. We cross into the new year. What will you bring?